Welcome to the CrossPoints podcast. I have an amazing woman of God with me here today. Her name is Eva Dennington. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you.
It is so exciting. I'm so glad that you're here. Eva, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself so people know who Eva is?
I come from Denmark, born in Denmark many years ago. And a long time ago, I went to Taiwan, 37 years ago.
37 years ago in Taiwan.
To Taiwan as a missionary to work amongst the Hakka Chinese. And I've been there ever since.
Wow. So, 37 years.
Yes, it's longer than my longest time in life I've spent anywhere. Yeah.
Wow, that is something else.
So it's exciting.
It's pretty fun. Well, that is so cool. Well, today I thought it would be interesting for us to talk about the idea of the underdog.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the term underdog.
I think it's more an American term.
Okay, more of an American term.
You give it to me.
All right, so an underdog is somebody who the rest of the world kind of looks at as the kind of the consummate loser. He's the one that is not the front runner. He's the one that's the small dog, not the big dog. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of think about this idea of the underdogs in our society. Yeah. And so I did just a real little bit of a research on like underdog companies. Now, I don't know about you, but even in the winter, I love ice cream.
Me too.
Are you an ice cream?
I love ice cream.
What's your favorite ice cream, Eva?
Oh, there's just so many different.
There's so many.
So many different, like caramel, chocolate, and even salty caramel, and licorice.
No, that's
just
terrible.
Wonderful.
You do not put licorice in ice cream, Eva. That's
just the best of the best.
Who makes licorice ice cream?
In Denmark, we do that.
Oh, it's of course.
You have ice cream, and you put this rich licorice sauce on top of it.
Is it black?
Yeah.
Black licorice?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Fantastic.
That sounds terrible. Eva, what about delicious. Coconut? You like chocolate and coconut? Anything. Oh, you're just
like it
pro
all.
ice cream.
Okay.
Well, have you ever heard of a company called Ben & Jerry's?
Yes.
Okay, Ben & Jerry's, some of my favorite ice cream. They started in the early 70s. And Ben & Jerry, two guys, and they did a $5 course on how to make ice cream. They had seriously, no buddy in their family, nobody that they knew of that was in the business of making ice cream, but they liked ice cream so much that they did this $5 course, and they started churning out this ice cream, and people just loved it. And then they got so popular that Haagen-Dazs, the big guys at the time, is Haagen-Dazs from where's that from? Oh, sorry.
You know, it sounds German, but it's as American as
it is not.
It is.
No, it's not. Haagen-Dazs is American?
Yes, it is. But
I feel cheated all these years.
They chose a European name just
were smart.
Just to fool you guys into it.
I did not know that. That's crazy. See the things you learn here on the podcast. Okay, so it's an American thing. Haagen-Dazs. Well, anyways, apparently Haagen-Dazs was they were concerned about Ben & Jerry's and the market capital and all of the different things that they were kind of taken into. And so they tried to push them out of the business. They tried to like overwhelm them. But what they did is that they kind of reinvented themselves and started putting ice cream in little pints. Okay. And that changed their whole business model. And now, of course, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So no one thought that they would be able to beat a Haagen-Dazs. Oh. But they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So have you had people in your life, Eva, that maybe surprised you? That were kind of the underdog in life, and maybe they, turned the corner and did something that...
I think I love that idea of the underdog.
Okay, tell me.
Because that's what God does for us, isn't it? I mean, He takes us all, and someone we are underdogs. We are losers. We are sinners. We don't measure up to the standard He puts us on us all than anybody else. So we are losers.
Yeah, we're losers. You're a loser, everybody.
Yeah,
but we need to know that, right? We are.
And then He takes this underdog and He speaks to us about our value, and He raises us up out of the things that pushes us down. So I have seen many people that I never would expect to become great, but they actually have become amazing people.
I love that.
I've seen I remember I used to have a neighbor, and I tried to share the gospel with her. And she was just, she had a terrible marriage and totally hopeless kids.
Right.
And nothing, and she was always in debt. Nothing was going well for her.
Okay.
So, and I tried to share the gospel, and she hated it because the aircon would go out of the house when she had to open the door for me.
So
she
all the
didn't
heat is coming in. She's like, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
So, but somehow she gets saved. She gets saved. And then this amazing lady, God begins to put his value on her. People begin to say to her, you're valuable. There's something in you. There's a treasure in you. You can do things.
Interesting.
And she begins to believe that. So in the age of, I think she was 55, they say to her, have you ever tried to paint? Maybe there's a hidden painter within you.
No, really?
So she starts to draw, and she figures out she's an amazing...
At 55, all these years kind of maybe put down, in debt, living in a life that just was probably so oppressive.
Yes, and her husband dies in the midst of it, and everything goes wrong. Yeah. So, but this lady, she just begins to see, no, I actually have value. So believing that she's got value, she dares to do something. Wow. She dares to step out and says, maybe I can do it. So she does that, and she's very successful now because she also can hear from God at the same time. So she draws out what she hears and says, wow, this is amazing.
That is
an amazing artist.
I guess we never really know some of the gifts that we have in us until people start like speaking life to us. And then hearing from God and then like stepping out and doing it.
Yeah. And I think that's so powerful if we really believe people have value.
Yeah.
If you really look at people and don't look at them as underdogs.
Okay.
But we look at them and says, you've got potential.
Yeah.
God, I see that God has put value in your life and you can do something.
Now, how do you do that? I don't know about you, but maybe you live in a place where everybody just all gets along and no one ever irritates you. I don't know about you, but there are some people that are in my life. None of you guys out there, but certain people are really kind of hard to get along with. How do you deal with that?
It is true. I mean, it's easy to treat people really nice if they behave themselves, and if they like me.
If they're constantly saying how good you are and how wonderful you are, just is like, yes, I want to be around you all day long, right?
Yeah, it's true. But there are those people that really hurt us.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
And say things that are so painful.
Yeah, and some of those people we're working right next to them, right?
Yeah,
at our jobs or at school or wherever.
Yes.
So what do we,
and personalities that are just so different than ours. I mean, those, they have to tell the same story again and again and again.
Those people that just keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
The people that just don't know how to be quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, right?
There are a lot of difficult people.
Yeah.
So I think that's where honoring them, that really makes sense.
Ooh, okay, now, so there's an interesting word that you use, honor. Okay, so I think that's a word that we maybe can say, it's not used a lot, I don't think, in our context. So why don't you help us? How would you define honor? What is honor? Yeah.
I really like, there's a verse in the Bible I love, especially from the New Living Translation.
Yeah, I love
and it says, love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other.
Okay,
that's Romans 12:10.
Take delight in honoring each other.
Yeah. Okay. So what does it mean to honor? I think the word that's actually used in the Bible is called time, and I think it's pronounced time or something like that.
Yes, okay.
And that means to put a price tag on something. So
I like that visual right there.
Yeah, you take a price tag and you put that price tag on.
Not the 50% off price tag.
No,
We're putting in the high value. Exactly.
High value.
Okay.
I put a value on this person.
Ooh,
that's how I really honor them.
That's good.
So that I might see somebody and they're really bugging me.
Okay.
But I think that scripture is challenging me. Am I ready to put a price tag on them? I say, no, they have God within them. They are valuable.
Okay.
They have something of value.
So you would define honor then as something or someone that you would place a price tag on, that they're highly valued and highly prized.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that especially makes sense for the tough ones.
Especially.
I mean, other people are easy.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So now we kind of have a little bit of a working definition. How do you walk that out? Because it's easy to say, oh, I'm going to put a price tag on you. I'm going to value you. I'm going to honor you. But what does that look like?
Yeah.
Eva, I'm giving you the tough one, right?
No, but I like to think about that because I think it's so powerful if we really grab a hold of this. And I'm trying to grasp it myself, but I'm not always succeeding. But
okay, hold it, stop just for a second. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a really, really tough question, Eva. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you a tough one. Okay. I want you to share with me a time. You don't have to use their name, but I want you to share a time where you had to honor someone that maybe irritated you. Like, what did you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
she's thinking.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
there
ready?
is
Okay.
there's a
and it's not me. Just so you know. Okay. Okay.
well. No, I think there's this person in where I work that he really doesn't like me.
Really?
He thinks,
Eva, I think everybody loves you.
No. Well, I think he thinks I'm not doing things right, and I'm not really being a good pastor, and I'm not a whole lot of things.
Okay.
So
you would think maybe from his vantage points, he sees a lot of weaknesses in you,
yes,
and you're not doing a lot
and
of
failures.
Yes.
And
he could do it better, probably.
Yeah. Yes, I think quite likely.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So,
yeah.
so how do I want to treat? No, number one, it actually starts with, what do I want to think about that?
Yeah.
So what do I want to think about him when I'm on my own?
Okay.
Okay, so that's, I think, where the battle starts. And also,
that's really good, Eva.
When I'm just alone with my husband.
Yeah.
How do I talk about him?
Because no one else is around.
Yeah. But that's, I think, where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
So
and that's a dangerous thing. Like if you out of your mouth, you start putting people down, even though they're not around, and you're not, quote, hurting anybody, there's something that happens inside of you that is really damaging.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you dishonor people behind their back, I mean, it really affects the people you do it to.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So, I mean,
you're affecting somebody else. Exactly.
So if I instead speak out the value I see in that person, even to myself, I say, no, he's a very caring person. He understands this. And I speak to my husband, and then I say, this person is very caring. Inside of me, it's screaming the opposite message.
Yeah, right. Because you can't just say you don't have those feelings. Those feelings are real. But you have to go against that grain, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I believe if I'm aggressive against this. So then next time if even this particular person, then I'll go and talk to some of the other pastors. Hey, have you noticed so-and-so is a very caring person?
Ooh.
Because
did you catch that? She's talking good about him behind his back instead of the other way around.
Exactly.
Oh,
because
that's good.
I know I could easily say the other thing.
Oh, yeah,
but I do need. So some of these might be that also struggle with the same person. He might have something against them too. But they begin to see him also. They shift. I think we can shift how people look at him.
Now, hold it. Now, sometimes do you say this and maybe you don't necessarily feel it? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think some people feel like, I don't feel it, so how can I say it?
Yeah, that's true. But I think the truth is still that every person has got value.
Yeah.
So every person is valuable. So I am speaking out truth. I'm not speaking out a lie. I might not feel like it.
Yes. Okay. So truth trumps feelings.
Yes.
In this regard.
Big deal.
That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And so go against the grain of your feelings and speak out that truth.
Yes, I think
and then
so.
maybe something will follow out.
Yeah.
So you're really looking inside people. I mean, you're really pulling something out of them, right? Yeah.
I think it's so powerful.
Okay.
And then even publicly, you can do that with different people in your life, and you can speak out and say, I really see this of value in your life.
Yeah.
Even though you might see a lot of dirt, but do you want to focus on the gold, or do you want to focus on the dirt?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you can look internally at people and say, they really irritate me. I don't want to have anything to do with them. I'm going to talk behind their back. I'm going to yell at them, put them down, or the very opposite.
Yeah. And that's why I think if you understand to call out that gold, you're calling forth underdogs to become major players in life.
Say that again. You're calling out what in people?
Underdogs. You're calling them out to become major players in life, people of influence, because you help them to see their own value too.
Yeah, but hold it. But you said something about calling out gold in people. What does that mean? Tell us what do you mean by that?
You know,
because you use dirt and then you just use gold. That was really good, right? I don't know if a lot of people have heard that term before. So
I think when people go digging for gold, they dig and they dig, and there's all these television programs. I think especially in America about people digging for gold.
Yeah, back in the 1800s. I don't know that they do it much anymore. Although I did see something in Arkansas. I don't know if I'm probably going to get the stat wrong. You guys can correct me online, but I saw this guy was in Arkansas and he was digging, and he like it was like a $1.2 million that he pulled out of the ground.
Yeah. And he first moved several tons of dirt.
Yes, right. Yeah. So your point is
so the whole dirt, in the end of the day, did he focus on the 2 ton of dirt that he digged out, or did he focus on that little piece of gold that he found out?
Exactly. Yeah. Because the dirt gets in the way, doesn't it?
And we all see the dirt. We all see the dirt in all spheres of life. But do we see the gold? And what are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about the dirt? Or are we going to talk about the gold?
You know, he was talking about that gold for the rest of his life. He didn't care how dirty he got. He didn't care about anything else.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
That's so good.
And I think too that if we I think in the church or even with people that we're with, if we can be so focused on that goal, we can change a whole lot of people's lives, and we can change the atmosphere and what's going on, because we do this thing, we delight in honoring one another.
Yeah, and the delighting even takes place when we don't feel it.
Yes.
And I think that probably is the hardest thing, because I think people would feel like it's not genuine if I don't feel it. It's not real. I'm being fake. I'm putting on a plastic smile. I'm being disgenuine.
Yes.
And you're trying to say, don't have those thoughts and feelings. Speak the truth, right? But you don't have to feel it.
Don't focus on them.
Don't focus on what?
Don't focus on these feelings of what you really feel.
Yeah.
Because you should focus on, hey, what's the truth about this situation?
Yeah. So you're saying true statements. You might not just have a real warm, fuzzy feeling as you say it.
Yeah.
Is that
but
right? Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But I think when you continue like certain people. I have certain people in my life that irritate me.
Yeah.
I'm certain people. I'm not a detailed person. And I have people around me that are so detailed. I have another pastor.
Don't those people drive you crazy?
Yes,
Eva,
I just can't.
Right there.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
No detail.
I'm telling you,
No
man,
detail.
this is why we get along so well. Right here, folks. You heard it right here. Yes.
So they will come.
And they overwhelm you with the details.
Exactly.
And you're like, I've got the vision. I know where we're going.
Amen.
Who cares how we get there? Come on. Right?
Yes, that's exactly how it is. Yeah. So, but then, they come to me about all these details. So, but I really must admit that even I don't feel like, I think I need to affirm it because I do need it.
Yeah,
the truth is I need it. I need them in my life.
See, and a mature person will understand that. Yes. Really, right? I mean, we see the big picture, but we know that we're never going to get there if we don't know the details to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think wording it out, that's good for myself. So my inner self needs to hear that I need you in my life, you detailed person.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Yes, we absolutely need the details.
So I think that affirming, we can really change how things go.
So you've said a lot of really powerful things here. I just want to kind of review real quick. So you've said, first of all, it's got to start internally. Yeah. You've got to be able to answer those questions in your own heart about those people that irritate you. Yeah. Then you said not only that, you have to speak kind of behind their back in a positive way.
Positive
right?
gossip.
So whoever is in your close circle, your husband, your spouse, your friends, whatever. And then what I thought was really cool what you said is that we need to talk behind their back in a public space so that they might catch that we're talking good about them, because it might change the atmosphere in the places that we work and live together.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I think that's really good. And then, so what happened with that person that was irritating? Did you see any change as a result of your speaking truth into his life, or does he still irritate you today? And is it just something that's an ongoing struggle?
I think it's moving slowly forward. That he's beginning to see that affirmation is. He maybe didn't believe it in the beginning either, because
he thought maybe you were just just whatever.
I think he was
not genuine.
Maybe had an agenda or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but as he's beginning to see it, I sense that his whole atmosphere towards me is changing.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So I think it is really powerful.
Yeah.
So if he begins to really believe that I see value in him, I think that will cause him to change a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that's right. And regardless, you're changing the atmosphere in your organization as well.
Yeah.
Because people are seeing him in a different light because of what you're saying.
I also love when I hear something good about somebody. If I hear somebody else, I love to find that person later and say, do you know, I heard somebody talk about you.
Okay.
And then that just puts fear in their life.
It's like fear. Yes.
Yeah. Right. And that person said that you were just outstanding in the way that you care for your son and your daughter.
So good.
I mean, I just love to spread positive gossip. I mean, it's just powerful because it's a little bit fun too.
It's so good. I'll share this story. One of my real close friends' name's John. and he had a business partner. And this business partner of his, they had just started this business, and they were really struggling. And, they were having some odds with each other about things that were going on. And so John had a dinner meeting, he and his wife, with another couple. And in the course of the dinner, they were in this private kind of secluded booth having a really nice dinner, and he does a pocket dial to his business partner. Okay? So, and the business partner picks up the phone and overhears the conversation of John speaking. And it just so happened that John was talking about the business and his partner through the whole dinner. So, and John never knew that his phone was on a pocket dial. He shows up in the office the next day, and their office is like their desks were like this, and they were looking at each other, and his business partner walks in and said, John, I got a call from you last night while you were at dinner. And John goes, what? And his business partner starts tearing up, and he said, you started talking about me, and I've never felt so honored in my life. Wow. And that whole conversation that John had with him was about how impactful this guy was in his life. That he wouldn't have been where he was, even though they were struggling and having difficulties, that his business partner had really changed the course of his life.
That is powerful.
And it obviously when someone hears something good from them behind their back, I mean, it's like 10 times the amp, right, of any compliment you could ever give them. And they know it's a real compliment because they're not in the room.
Yes.
I know. So could it be that we honor each other by talking about each other behind their backs?
Yes.
And that's what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think we can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, so good.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, Eva, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this idea of pulling gold out of people, honoring people, talking about them behind, we give you permission to talk behind someone's back this week and share something really good. It'll do you good and it'll do them well as well.
And it will build the kingdom of God.
Amen. Amen.